All right, our next item up is for public comment for items not on the agenda. So the first gentleman I have up is Matthew Pressman. Come on down. This is regarding the homeless encampments.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, City Council, here to put a face to the name. You guys have all received emails from me as of recent. Just want to reiterate the fact with you all how important this issue is right now with me and especially members of my community, North Ranch. I took the day off work so I could come here and address you guys on the issue. Mr. Walker, Ms. Moore, thank you for responding to my emails. Hopefully you all got it, saw the pictures. The pictures that I sent, that's just a small portion of what's out there right now, unfortunately. Today I went around and spoke to some of the businesses, and some of the things I've heard from manager at Stater Brothers. They said shoplifting has become so bad over there at their store that is a major concern for them. At AM/PM and 7-Eleven, they both informed me that the homeless people have become so bold that they just walk right in, go to the soda fountains, fill up their drinks, walk right out. Don't even care. At Albertsons, the manager there told me that every day they catch no less than 3 people shoplifting from their store. And over there they've become so bold that they will fill up a shopping cart with alcohol, meat, produce, and will just walk straight out. Just don't even care. They are so emboldened right now. So this has become a major issue here in the city, and I just want to make sure we get on it, and we need to nip it because if we don't, it's going to grow and it's going to run rampant. And you know, I'm here. Other people from my community are here to let you know. You know, we want to do what we can to help, and we just want to let you all know that this is a very serious problem. I'm sure you do know, but you know, by us being here.
Thank you. We appreciate you guys coming down here, and I think I can speak for all of us in that we all know this is a major issue. We're all doing everything we can. We've been hamstrung by the state on quite a few things. The biggest issue is the state has basically made misdemeanor theft, anything under $950, to where the gentleman in the back can tell you that they'll write up misdemeanor citations for these guys all day long. They never show up in court, and they can get as many of those as they can gather.
Yeah.
And so, you know, this whole notion that basically the governor's made this virtually not even illegal for them to steal, and it's across our entire region and our entire state. There's a bill that part of the Grocers Association is pushing forward that would change that. So they basically get 2 of those, and then the third one it would act like a felony again, which is something that's gonna be on the November ballot, I hope, and I think we'll be seeing that come forward. But please know that I think we all agree with you. It's out of control. It's not okay, and we need to change something.
Yeah, aside from the shoplifting, I mean, I've been in contact with the Sheriff's Department. They were very receptive. I've been in contact with Sergeant Warrington, and you know, he strongly agreed and also encouraged us to push you guys to pass more city ordinances and stronger city ordinances against loitering, panhandling, trespassing, etc. And said that, you know, the Sheriff's Department is more than happy to enforce all these laws or you know, municipal codes that you guys enact. And you know, he said anybody that they come across as a misdemeanor, he has no problem, you know, arresting them, taking them. He said he knows, yeah, they're going to be released in a few hours, but you know, hopefully it'll become such a nuisance to them that they're going to say, you know what, you know, I'm out of here. I'm going to go somewhere where they're not bothering me every day.
I appreciate you bringing that forward. I've asked our Sheriff's Department for stuff like that before. I haven't heard it. So, but if there's something that we could be doing, I'm looking back at our lieutenant back there. If there's an ordinance that we can bring forward that other cities have done that's been affected, I'm more than happy to hear that ordinance. So we'll get with them, and thank you for bringing that forward.
I just want to mention, because our Assemblywoman Melendez just posted on her page the other day that the Vons at Elsinore, they closed because they were having 3,000 a day being stolen from them.
I've seen in the last email.
All right, I'm getting the ugly eye from our attorney because this is an item not on the agenda. So thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Sorry. And I have is it Jesus Alvinales?
Close enough.
Okay. Is it sort of like XXA? What is this?
It's a terrible handwriting.
Okay.
Jesus Maldonado, thank you.
Ah, him. Got it.
Give me a couple minutes. I'd like to express I understand that, you know, the law and whatnot, but our concern is the immediacy of the encampment that has been progressively growing to the point of where they're setting up tiers and there's a section here and a section there, and they're subdividing that area. I understand, but what recourse do we have, those of us that live there, to deal with whether it's the property owner or someone who can take on and do something about this? I understand that, you know, there's rules and there's laws, and you can only give them a misdemeanor ticket. But in the meantime, this community is growing, and it's growing rather, and they keep switching off, of course. All you gotta do is drive up to here, and you'll see the guys and the ladies who are there. And so we'd appreciate some recourse that we can have to nip this in the bud before it continues at this pace. Thank you.
Thank you. And I believe we passed all this info on to our code enforcement officer, and I know they're working on it. And a lot of it falls back to that property owner, but we're continuing to beat them up as best we can. So, next up is Stephen Ferguson? Finnegan, sorry. Come on down.
You guys are probably gonna get tired of hearing about it.
No, not at all,
No, we're not.
We're in the
please.
same neighborhood.
We're so happy to have you guys here.
About a year ago, we had a gentleman knock on our door. I wasn't home at the time. My wife was home alone with our 2 kids. They're 3 and 5. Back door was open, let the breeze come in. She didn't recognize the person, so she didn't answer the door. Apparently, he came around our side yard, came into our backyard. We have a special needs boy. He has autism. Everybody is a friend. So he ran out there, and my wife had to get in between him and my son. That's bothersome to me. We moved here because actually the statistics you guys talked about, it's wonderful to see the crime statistics, what they are. It's a safe community. That's why we moved here. So I just wanted to share my concerns there. And as a citizen, if there's something we can do with a community watch that we can work with you guys, I'm definitely open to that. So thanks for giving me the time.
Thank you. All right, and Brittany Jameson? Brittany, out of your group, you got the best handwriting.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, guys.
I'm gonna try to make it quick and touch on a number of items like what everybody has said. In regards to Steve, I also had him approach my house beforehand. He was in a bunch of our yards, very out of the loop. But that was just one incident. In regards to the theft and the robbery, there's also issues with drugs. Very rampant in the area that has grown. I've lived here for 20 years. I have not seen the problems that I've seen just over the last 2 years. In regards to that, I know the Sheriff's Department is trying to help, and they need to be aware of it. But there have been times I've made calls to where there could very easily be an arrest when somebody's yelling and obviously on a substance that they've let them walk away. So I've been very frustrated at times. There's also times to where we've called the city for code enforcement because there's trash visible from the main street. Very, very visible. Some of the photos that we have taken and we've submitted have been from the main street, and that's something that the city does have the ability to push on the landowner. In regards to the land that's right off Clinton Keith to where they're right between Stable Lanes and Hidden Springs, that particular landowner has come in repeatedly over the past couple weeks, the property manager and the landlord, and they've actually sent the Sheriff's Department. They're trying to clear it out. They're making a point to make people off. They've come to the city to say we want to take down the trees, we want to level it and deal with the issues so that we don't have this moving forward, because every time they send them out, they come right back. And they've actually had backlash from you guys, and I'm not trying to be rude, but to the point to where they're saying, oh, there's drainage issues, you know, whether it be worried about the trees or, you know, whatever it is, for a landowner to be putting the money in and trying to address an issue, and for us to be calling code enforcement and trying to do what we're supposed to do, it's frustrating to not have that feedback. And then to also see, you know, robbery has doubled. That doesn't take into account all the everything with the Stater Brothers and the small businesses. So that's just, I wanted to raise those concerns.
Thank you for coming forward. Before
question. This sounds really barbaric. For a private property owner, if somebody knows off the top of their head, if they wanted to request a controlled burn of their property, is that,
Through fire department, and it's very rarely allowed now, and he's not still here. No, okay.
that to me seems like an option. I'm gonna ask the fire chief about that, like a controlled burn of these properties. It seems,
We've been in contact with Steve Macy from Somar Land Group, and he came in here on Monday he wanted to find out, what his company would need from you guys as far as clearing his land, and apparently, I don't know who exactly he spoke to, but said that you would need,
So,
X, Y, and Z permits, and that it's not really allowed, but basically.
tell you what, we can have the conversation, go back and forth. My phone number is on the city website, at least I have double checked on the new city website, but it should be there. Give me a call, let's have a meeting, I'd be happy to come out to either your community, if you guys want to come back into your city hall.
Sure.
We'll get staff involved with that, and we'll have a further meeting on this and discuss that, and especially, I've seen a lot of the landowners, if not removing the tree, at least trimming them up, so it takes away that undergrowth, to take that away, and I've seen that, it's been pretty successful off of Bundy Canyon on the 15 freeway on-ramp going southbound. So that's something we could definitely you should be able to do, no problem, but we'll get to the bottom of that, and thank you guys for coming in.